better, bitch. Time to get into the spooky shit. Today I'm gonna be telling you the time about how freaking the most trusted place in the freaking world, where you would never think any bad things happen, because it's always represented so perfectly. Cheated me out of $11,000. What is that place, you ask? It's Disney Channel. Yes, Disney Channel. It did in fact cheat me, your boy Dave, out of $11,000. $11,000. I mean, it wasn't my money, but it was my mom's money. But $11,000. That's like a down payment on a Tesla. I mean, it wasn't cheap. Like, if you got $11,000 and you just throwing it around like that, hit me up. Everything I am saying now is the truth. And for anybody who's planning on doing anything like this, I would highly suggest you double check your facts. How did it start? So, if you guys don't know, I am a dancer, I'm a singer, I'm an actor. I used to do it all. Like, now I just dance and act, but back then I used to sing. Why is my camera bag back there? That's normal. Removed. I am an entertainer all around. So, I've grown up and I've always done dance, I've always acted, I always sang, I was featured on CDs, I've done several shows around Vegas by myself. Basically, I was already going to like several programs for dance, and I heard this on a radio. I was in the car with my mom, we were driving. At the time, we lived in Vegas. We were listening to the radio and we heard the man say, "Are you looking for your kids to get discovered and be the next big thing? Well, call 1-800 West Coast." So I was about 15, 14 at the time, like somewhere around that area. You know, me being gullible, I kind of believed it because, hey, it's on the radio, so it must be legit. Like, if you get on the radio, you got to be legit. I listened to this commercial and I instantly was like, I called the number as he was reading it off like 3-4 times. Because you know the people at the radio read it like 5 times. 1-800 West Coast. I said 1-800 West Coast. Oh yeah, once again, 1-800 West Coast. What? Didn't get that? 1-800 West Coast. I'm already on the phone with the people and I'm like setting up my audition date. They had me scheduled for 2 o'clock in the evening. So it was downtown Las Vegas. This is where the strip was. It was like right there by Circus Olay. And like the dome thing. I forgot what it's called. It's like right there by like all the big monuments and stuff. It was like in this hotel. It was one of the Marriott hotels. The place where we were going was on the 7th floor. So I'm like, everything leading up to this moment, I'm like, this is so legit. Like, I'm finna like, gotta get mentally prepared, because like there's finna be agents just looking at you dead in the face to decide your future, whether you're good enough or not. We get there and I was expecting like maybe like 50 kids to be there. You know, just like the normal 50 kids. Like, why not? Because like it's the radio casting. But got up on the elevator to go up to the 7th floor. There was a bunch of people with us in the elevator already, and I asked them where they were going, and they were also going to the 7th floor. So I'm already sketched out. I'm like, okay, it's just them. Like, these are like 2-year-olds I'm sitting in the freaking elevator with, like probably not gonna be in the same age group. I walk out of the elevator and no joke, I do not kid you, there is at least 100 people stacked up in the little itty bitty hallway where the elevators are located. You can't even walk anywhere to get in. Okay, you can't walk inside to even sit down and take a seat. Everybody was sitting on the floor. There was people who had their babies, crying babies. Ooh, don't ever bring crying babies to auditions, but crying babies. There was people who were still haven't finished their meals and stuff. They're still like, they're eating as they're like walking. And I'm like looking like at the table where we sign up at or sign in at or something, and I find the table and I see the doors, the double doors that head into this bigger room where it has all these seats for everybody to sit down. So I guess we're gonna have like an introduction, because the screen up there said introduction. So I go up to the lady, and automatically when I walk up to the table, I'm seeing this nice lady. She said hi to me. I said hello, how are you? You know, just like popular, being mannerly and shit. And what I didn't know, it took me about like 30 seconds before I noticed that to my left and to my right were 2 Disney Channel shows that we all know and love, that are iconic shows today. It was Austin and Ally and Shake It Up. So automatically this is reassuring me that this thing is legit. Like, this thing cannot be fake. Like, these things are here for a reason. Like, they wouldn't advertise this thing if it wasn't real. Like, period. So this is like making me want to go farther and faster. There was one main sign up sheet that everybody had to sign in there. So I signed my name, and at this time, if you guys don't know, I have 5 brothers and sisters, and yeah, and my mom, my mom took us. So I'm literally sitting here with 2 girls and 3 boys that are my siblings, and we're about to audition for the show. So if one of us doesn't get the part, then something's wrong there, okay? We sign up and then we head immediately into this room after the lines clear up and everything. And there was a bunch of people that got seated. Some people were still standing because they did not have enough seats. This man came on stage. I'm just gonna phase through this part because this part doesn't even really freaking matter. A man came on stage, he introduced himself, gave some background information, told us who he was and who he's worked with and who he's brought to be top stars today. After the man was done with the introduction, everybody had to form a line to get ready to go to see one of the agents to decide if you're good enough to go to the next level. They didn't give out numbers or anything like American Idol or X Factor, nothing like that. You just literally simply formed a line and you would go. Like, as you get through these other 2 double doors, there's more papers for you to pick up and take. There's more papers for you to pick up and take. These papers were monologues and commercials for you to read off for the agent. So I automatically grabbed it, my family grabbed it, and I had a commercial for Skippy Peanut Butter, and they had like lemonade commercials, movie parts, monologues. We didn't get to choose these guys, like they passed them out as they saw you. So I got my Skippy Peanut Butter commercial and I kept walking. We had to hurry up and memorize these lines before we get through those doors, and like where we were at, we had a good distance before we even got through the doors to even go to one of the agents. So it's almost time for us to get to our agent, our designated agent or whatever. We were about to be in room 4, something like that. I was like, I'm very good. I'm practicing my lines. I'm putting all my emotions and stuff into it. I'm analyzing how many ways I can do this part and still remain myself and not be out of character but in character. You know what I'm saying? We walk into this room and they line us up by groups of 4s. So there's one big old line. We are all lined up against this wall, and they had a list of names of who they had. So they would call up our names one by one, and they would ask us to read our monologue or our commercial. First, we had to start off by always doing a slate. That's always the first thing they ask for when you go to auditions or anything like that, because they want to know who you are, your name and age, and what company you're representing. If you're not representing the company, you don't even have to mention that part. I walk up. I think I was like number 5. Yeah, I think I was like number 5. But yeah, they had everybody going like groups of 1. They had everybody go by themselves, but you have to go in front of everybody else who's lined up against this wall and this agent that's right in front of you, along with her co-worker or whatever. After you get in the slate, you would do what you were supposed to do, which was sing, dance, or act. Everybody before me was surprisingly, like, you know how you get ready to do something and you're scared that somebody else is gonna be better than you, so you get like hella anxiety before you go and do something, you know? You're like, maybe you're like second guessing yourself, like, damn, this bitch is good. I'm not good enough. I'm not gonna make it. That's where I was right now. There's one short boy in front of me, and we were having conversations on the side. Like, we had to be really quiet when everybody was auditioning their piece, but we had to be very, very quiet while everybody was auditioning, but we could still like talk stuff. I was just getting to know the guy, and this girl starts singing. And you know, she was good. She was good. But then it was time for Carlos to go up and do his part. So then that's when I really started freaking realizing I'm getting ready to go. I'm freaking next. They're about to see me. I'm about to be like, don't freak out, don't fuck up, don't mess up, you got this. It's nothing, it's second blood. I'm like hyping myself up like, you got this, don't get nervous, just smile if you get nervous, you got this, ain't nothing but another audition. This is the first set of auditions I've ever done, actually. So I'm freaking out because this is my first audition. And they call my name. I walk up, chest up, like, you know, I get all hella proper when I'm getting ready to walk up and stuff. So I walk up and I say my slate. Hi, my name's David Warren. I'm 17 years old and I am from Los Angeles, California. And they asked me to act a piece. I acted my piece. Then they asked me if there was any other things that I wanted to show them. I sung for them, and then I danced for them. And then after that, you don't know whether you got in or not. Literally said, thank you, have a nice day, like I did for everybody else. So I'm like, okay, I say thank you, and I walk out the door, and I wait for my siblings to finish theirs. So fast forward in time, we exit the building. We still have not heard any calls from this agency, where I'm freaking out. I'm like, maybe I wasn't good enough. I could have done so much better. I'm looking back at it like, maybe I could have done this better to perfect this, so that way I could have been better. So I know for sure I could have did this. You know, I'm just like second guessing the whole thing that I just auditioned for. we were driving on the freeway coming down to one of my dance classes, and my mom gets a call on the phone, and it's thundering outside, bitch. Stay inside, kids. Don't ever go outside. It's dangerous. I just saw thunder, and the house is shaking. The house is shaking. My mom gets a call on the phone, and it's which is the name of the company that was auditioning people, and they wanted to meet up to sign us for a contract. We go down to the same Marriott hotel, except this time we stayed in the lobby because this is where all the contract signings take up, you know, like. So we sit down in the lobby, wait for the lady, and me and my brothers and sisters just having fun, getting lime water, you know, being kids, having fun, you know. And I'm just so excited. I'm still like freaking out, like, what if I made it? What if I didn't? Like, what if I was good enough? What if I wasn't? What if she's about to cut me off? What if she's not? Just a little background information. I'm not sure if I said that already, but the rest of my siblings acted. One of them just sang, and she didn't act. So I just did all three. I just took my chances. We wait for this lady. I think her name. I'm not gonna say anything exactly. So the camera actually did cut out. Good thing I caught that at the right time, because good thing I didn't like rant and keep going, because I was like, we were like 16 minutes in, bud. We're just gonna call this lady Kathy. So we wait for Kathy to come, and we see her coming through like the back room area with this big black folder in her hand, and I'm automatically thinking like, something's not good here. She's gonna like hit us with some legal actions or something. But as I'm sitting down, I'm thinking like, maybe we made it, you know. And we sit down at the table. We get all five of us at this big ass round table in the lobby in the middle. Nobody's walking in, nobody's walking out, which is kind of sketchy, because, you know, like, this is a contract signing, so shouldn't like everybody be waiting like to get this contract signed? And there is nobody there besides my family. We sit down with Kathy, and she breaks down to us that there's good news and bad news. The good news is you made it, but the bad news is not all of you made it. So if you guys don't know, like I said before, I come up from a family of 5, and all 5 of us auditioned, including my cousin, who is counted as a 6th person. So we wanted to know who actually made it. So she pulled out this folder, and she started calling out names. My sister made it, and I made it, and everybody else didn't. It was good for me because, like, hey, yeah, I worked hard and I did it, and I was like, this is what I wanted, this is what I wanted to do. I'm so happy that I freaking made it. Like, hearing that, I was like, I'm ready to sign whatever this lady has in this contract right now. So when my mom is hearing this, she's like, that's not gonna work. It's you either gonna have to have all of them or none of them. And I'm looking at her like, bitch, I know you fucking lie. This lady just told me I fucking made it, and you wanna give it up to some kids that don't even want to do it. They didn't want to do it, by the way. It was just something my mom thought was like a good thing to do, like last minute. Like, it would be good if like everybody could do it or whatever. I'm looking at her like, bitch, like, don't turn down an opportunity based off them. Like, think about me. Like, I want this. This is what I wanted. Fuck them. Shoot, if I make it and I go big, I can help everybody else later. Okay? That's what I was thinking. That was my thought process at the time. My mom was telling me to shut up and like be quiet, like you don't know what you're talking about, like it's not fair to everybody, and I was like, I was not caring. So I got up from my seat, and I got up and I was like automatically crying, not even automatically cried, not even know if like, I was like, this is my opportunity, it's gonna fade away, like I'm not gonna have it anymore, like somebody else is gonna get it, and I'm never gonna be able to be famous, I'm never gonna be heard, I'm never gonna be seen. This is my dream, and she's just gonna flush it away. The lady talked with my mom for like a bonus like 15 minutes, and later, the lady's like, okay, here's what we can do for you. All of the kids can go through, but it's gonna reflect on you later. And then, this is where the sketchy shit started to happen. This lady pulls out a folder from out of her briefcase and hands it to us, opens it up, and it's a list of fees for classes. Now I'm automatically thinking, I'm like, me and my mom are on the same thought process. Like twins together, we looked exactly like right at each other at that same moment. And I was like, you gotta do it. Like, it doesn't matter what it takes, you gotta do it. Like, she was looking at the prices, and it was like $1,000 a kid. I'm looking at these prices like, oh, I'm a kid. Like, you know, like I don't have any money. My mom's rich in my eyes, because like, parents are rich, they got money, you know? But I'm thinking like, yeah, my mom has money, so it's like, fine. I didn't say any of this out loud. I'm just thinking like, she has the money, I'll be fine. And my mom looks at me, and she was ready to walk out right then and there. But we signed the contract. We paid like half of the money down. We had to come back the week after to come back and take these master's classes. So a week has passed, and now it's time to go to these classes. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, I can't believe I freaking made it. Like, I'm finna be a celebrity. And, like, I'm thinking, like, I'm finna be Jay-Z, Beyonce. Like, bitch, I'm finna be on tour. I'm finna be booking dates. I'm finna be on Disney Channel. I'm finna, like, shake it off. I'm finna shake this asshole. And we get to the classes. It's intimidating because we walked into this room very much in the back. Like, we walked to the front of the hotel and it was like on the side to the back, and that was like hella sketchy to me, but I was too excited to focus on where it was at. So we get to the slim hallway in the back to where we're getting ready to go into our classes, and there's a lady to the left that's a sign-in lady. When you get to this lady, you're supposed to give her more money, so every time you come to these classes you would do pay off, pay off, pay off, and add more money, so that way you can pay off these classes if you had to pay off these classes. My mom signs us all in, and we wait for this door to open because the teacher was not here yet. So we waited for the doors to open, and when they did, this tall Mexican man opened the door, and I was automatically scared. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, no. Apparently he was like some big film guy, and he's been in all of these short films and stuff, and he runs his own side, and he's been teaching acting for like this long. So at this time, it was like time for parents to go. The parents leave, and it's just the kids and the teacher. We did a couple exercises where we would like take one line and we would improvise with that line and do what we're supposed to do. We were all sitting in down, just like this U-shaped, like this horse-shaped thing, this horse-shaped like seating, and there was like a Promethean in the front, and he would stand there and he would say a phrase, and one person would have to go up through the phrase, and the second person would have to go up there with them, which was like the next person in line would have to go up there with them and keep it going for a certain amount of time. So to my right was this girl named Lily, and I had to go up there with her. So we went up there, and our phrase was, "Why would you do that?" Like, it's not like when he's breaking this down to us, like, why would you do that? Like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to work with that? Like, you're not gonna give me like a phase of like, what, am I mad, am I angry, or no? It's just improvisation, so you have to be like ready. So she said, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, why did I do what? You know what you did? I can't believe you would do that to me. I was like, you probably, like, I'm at a comedic kind of standpoint. Like, I couldn't be serious. Like, when I'm put under pressure, I laugh. That's just it. I'm a laugher. So I flipped this whole situation from a sad and mad situation to a comedic value. So my response to most of her questions were, why, what, you deserved it. Now, like, it was questions like, what are you talking about? It's probably not my fault. I don't know what you're talking about. iCarly type shit. You know what I'm saying? So our time gets over, and then it's time for the next exercise, and we go to these classes for like the next 4. I'm just gonna give you a brief summary of what we did for all these classes. So I'm gonna move on to the next class. For the next class, we took music, and he gave us all a script, and we had to take that script and memorize it when we went home. That was our homework. So when we came back, we had to know the script and do it in front of the class. And doing shit in front of the class, like presentation, is not good for everybody because some people will crack under pressure. So we get back to the classes, my mom does a check-in, we wait for the doors to open. The doors open, and when these doors open, I sat in the very first seat to the front. And he asked me to go up. I stood up, I grabbed my monologue, and I did my part. My monologue was hella long, so once I got done saying my monologue, everybody clapped or whatever for, like, you know, emotional support or whatever, and he said, now we're gonna spice it up. Like, what? Spice it up? I mean, like, I'm already standing up here, I'm like shaking, I'm like scared as fuck, like, I don't like to be judged in front of people at all, I don't like to look bad. And he takes a speaker out of his backpack, which was like sketchy because like this dude has a backpack, like, where's your briefcase, like, whatever. But he takes the speaker out of his backpack and he starts playing this sad piano music. He's like, flip the script. Flip the script. Bitch, what? He wants me to turn this, like, a comedic monologue, and I had to turn this into a very sad situation, so I really had to change most of the words and the phrasing, and my voice started cracking. I did a good job overall, okay? everybody goes and then we exit for that class. It's like done a day. These classes are like usually like an hour and 30 minutes long. We're done, we go home, we come back the next day. The next class come and we have one more class to get ready for the agents, and he tells us exactly what's going to go down. He says, guys, listen, the next class you're going to have is going to be a very serious class because it's the last class you have before you go to the agents, and what you do on your part reflects on what I'm doing on my part. He was very serious about that. He told us there's going to be 2 agents. If you get past one, then you're on to the next one. And if you get past both of them, you'll have to see what happens from there. They don't really let you know what happens. Like, when you audition, you really just it's either you get a call back or you don't get a call back. This man was experienced in like acting and singing and all that, and I wasn't really singing for my auditions. I was getting ready, he was getting some preparation for it, so my acting was already solid, it was key or whatever. It was nice and it was snazzy. He didn't give me any notes on it or anything. And he was like, do you sing? Bitch, do I sing? I sing, bitch. I was like, I don't sing, but I'll sing for you. You know, like, singing ain't nothing to me. Like, I can carry a tune or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I sing. So after everybody went and did their monologues and he flipped everybody's and he let them know and he fixed them, he gave them notes, he had me stand up to be the first one. This class did not just only contain actors, it also contained singers and dancers. So, boy. So we had finished the acting part and it was time for the singing part. I was the first one to go up for acting, so I was the first one to go up for singing. I did not expect to go up for singing, but he said a song. He told me to grab a song, listen to it really quick, and then go up there and sing it. And I did not have a song. I literally scraped up a song like the last 5, I literally scraped up a song like the last 5, like 30 seconds, and I was like, it's just like a song like right off my mind. Let It Go on Frozen, like, you know. So I sang that. I went up there and I'm like, singing is not one of my strong points. Like, it's not something I'm really confident in doing unless I'm like in choir or something and I have to sing like a certain part. I'm already uncomfortable, so I'm shaking as I get up there to stand in front of this classroom full of judgmental ass bitches and bitches who can sing better than me. I'm the first one to go up and sing. I'm one of those people to do better under pressure. So I stood there, I took a deep breath, and I started singing. You bitches really thought I was really fun to sing for y'all. I know you fucking lying. We ain't about that life no more. You're gonna have to stay tuned for that one. I sing for them, they all clap for me. He was like boosting the positive feedback that was already given. Like, everybody was already piping me up saying all this, and this is that. You're doing great, you look awesome, you look positive, I love it, you sounded great, and all that. And then we did the dancing part after everybody went for their singing part. To our next class. Basically like the last class, he was preparing us for what was gonna happen at the audition and perfecting what we already had. And we had to have a selected song like last time. So I chose Let It Go again, and we worked on it, we worked on it, we worked on it, and we worked on it. So when we got back to the class, I sang it again. We did just fine. Class went fine. We zoomed right past that class. These classes are once a week for an hour and 30 minutes, but the last class was like 45 minutes. We get to the auditions, and there was more kids that we have never seen before. There was like the hundreds of kids that I told you I saw sitting in the hallway. They were back. And I did not expect them to be back. I thought it was just going to be these however many kids that I had these classes with and not expect any like surprises or new faces or anything. But when we got there, there was loads of faces that I did not know, and I'm automatically getting anxiety. I'm getting scared. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. I'm second down to myself again. And they formed us into lines based on who our teacher was, and I didn't even know there was other teachers at this time. So my class, we go to this door and they line us up, and apparently there was more kids in his class. All those classes had to audition in groups of 8. And we went again, we waited, we took our monologues, we took everything that we prepared for. This is the moment that we prepared for. So they lined us up by whoever wanted to go first and who were going to go last, side by side against the wall, and they said, this is how you're going to walk in. You're going to walk in, do your slate, and they're going to tell you what to do. So we walk in. We walk in against this wall, and as soon as I walk into this room, I'm getting like this big bubble. Like, you know how you walk through a door? I don't know. It's like I walk through this door and all of the pressure like hit my heart like real quick. Like, bitch, I could not breathe, but I was like playing it off like a G. I'm like, I'm fine, yep, I'm doing just fine. Hello. I'm waving to the judges and I'm acting normal, whatever. And this is one of the agents that you had to get past. When he was getting us ready for these auditions, he said that there was 2 agents that you had to get past, and if you get past both, then you'll see where you go from there. If you don't get a call, you didn't make it, but if you did, you did. So when we walked into the room and I'm feeling all this pressure, it was like I got hit by a bus. It was like a ghost just walked right through me, snatched my soul right the fuck out of my body. Bitch, I was gone. When we walked into this room, we lined up against the wall in the order that we were put in, and they immediately started calling people up. I was the 3rd person to go this time. Last time I was like 5th, something like that, but I was the 3rd person to go this time. So first person goes up, and I didn't even notice, but there was a 2nd person in the room behind the lady. He walked through the door, and I was like, that's the 2nd agent. They sung, they act, they danced, they went back and lined up against the wall. Everybody was not allowed to leave till everybody was done auditioning, and we will all walk out in one single file line and go. So here comes my audition piece, and I do my slate. I say, my name is David Warren, I'm 15 years old, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. And they said, what are you going to do for us first today? In my head, I was thinking, like, I want to start off strong so I don't sound trashy, so I'm already at a good standpoint. So I did my monologue first, because acting's like my strongest point. So I did my acting, then I did my dancing, and then it was time to sing. Like, this is the scariest fucking thing in the world. Like, I'm finna sing in front of these strangers, and they're finna decide whether my future is gonna expand or contract. Like, if I'm gonna make it or not. Like, this is a life-changing move, okay? And I sung for them. The whole room clapped. I felt very good about myself. Like, you know, like, the whole room is clapping. Like, nobody moved, nobody was clapping when that girl was singing. Like, I was feeling good about myself. Like, bitch, I'm like, pipe me up. Hey. I feel like I was the shit. Like, I walked back to that line, I was like, I gave everybody this stank face. Like, you ain't shit, you ain't shit, you ain't shit. I stood there in line, and everybody else went to go audition. And when everybody was done, we went back against the wall, turned, and walked out the door. That was our key to go home. Weeks and weeks and weeks have passed, and no callback, no nothing. So I'm sitting there in my room, I'm crying for days, because like, I'm thinking I'm not good enough, I didn't make it, maybe like it wasn't meant to be, like this wasn't for me, I didn't look good enough as everybody else, like second guessing everything that I did, like what I could have done better and all that. But I was honestly just proud of myself, but I just thought there was like a little more I could do. And once again, wait, the classes were $2,000 a kid. The classes were $2,000 a kid, y'all. I just messed up like the whole damn story, like, bitch. Once again, my mom and me are on the freeway getting ready to go to my dance classes, because like the season just ended and it's summertime, and we get a call, and it's from the agency. They're like, bring so-and-so back in during this time, during this place, and that's it. So my mom gets off the phone, and I'm like, who is that? She tells me it's the agency, and I'm like getting hella anxiety. I'm shaking. I'm like, what they say? Like, who did they want? Like, did I make it? What happening? First thing she would said was, nobody made it except you. Bruh, nobody made it except me? I know you fucking love. Like, piped up, I'm like, I'm that bitch. Like, I made it. Like, you know, like, I made it over everybody else and everybody in this room. Out of all, like, 5 members of my family, I made it. So I was like, I'm definitely gonna be big, like this is my chance. We went back to that same hotel and sat in that same waiting room for the lady in the lobby on the first floor. She comes out of the same back room with the same black folder, and we sit in the same spots at the round table. Everybody else is at home, it's just me and my mom and this lady. So the lady breaks it down to us, and my mom was already sketched out because like she just got to be paying $10,000, $2,000 a kid, which she has 5, $2,000 a kid that belonged to her for these classes, to get to these auditions, to make it. So she was already sketched out, and she just like didn't want to do it anymore. Like halfway through the classes, she was like, I don't want to do it anymore. We don't have money like that. Like, but I was like steadily convincing her, like, we got this, we can do this, like, this is my big chance, please don't give up on me. I can do this. Like, you just gotta give it to me. And like I would cry to her, and like I would pity blame her, okay? So I cried to her, and oh my god, my battery's about to die. So she was already sketched out about the whole situation, and we sat down at the table, and she was like, congratulations on making it. Here's what's gonna happen from here. You're either gonna go to New York or Los Angeles. Sorry guys, it was getting a little hot in this jacket, and I got this ring light like directly on me. So this lady said either New York or Los Angeles. And you know, I'm like hyped up. I'm like, New York, Los Angeles, girl, like, girl, we flying for free, let's go. Like, I'm down for New York. Like, no, let's go to Los Angeles because it's closer, you know. My mom felt a little insecure about what was going on. She was telling the lady to keep talking so that way she can see what was going on, because she felt like there was a catch to it. And she said it's gonna cost another $1,000. After we had just got through paying all this money, these people wanted another $1,000. I was not down for it at that point. I literally got up myself and I told my mom, let's go. We got up and we left. Because I know we didn't have enough money like that. Because my mom was screaming at me because of the money we had already spent on these classes to even get me to where I was at. And I was just completely done. I was over it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, fuck it. This Disney life ain't worth $11,000 to me that my family don't have. It's not worth my mom stressing over all this shit about. It's not worth it. So I kept connections with my friends, Aurora and Lily. Like, they went through and they made it too. We just got home, we were parking, we were in the car, and Lily's mom calls my mom and tells my mom that this company is under indicity. And if you don't know what indicity is, I'll put the definition right here, but it's when you're currently, it's like being blocked from a certain part of the freaking world. This company that we had spent all this money with was not even allowed inside of Los Angeles. What the fuck? We got off the phone with Lily's mom, and Aurora's mom called us right after. They pulled both of their kids out, and she told us the same thing that Lily's mom told us. Like, but the next step was actually legit. The next step was to go to the IMTA, which is like an agency full of agents where you're presented in front of several different companies to get discovered by one of these companies to select you, and you would be offered like hella contracts. Austin Kutcher did it. Some other people did it, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. But damn, indicity. We were not down for it. So that really freaking sucked. I was really getting my hopes up for nothing. All that work for nothing. But it's fine though. We're still a bad bitch. We're gonna be on TV one day. It doesn't really matter. So guys, that is the end of today's YouTube video. If you liked it, please like give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because you would be paying my bills. I don't have any right now, but you'll be paying my bills and helping me get back that $11,000 that I had my mom pay for these scamming ass classes. Wow. Comment what I should do next time. And if you guys want to see any more story times or anything, just like let me know down in the comments below. Like, I'm always watching. I'm always reading. Ooh, that sounds like a creep. I'm always watching. I'm always reading. The fuck, Gargamel? That's it for today's YouTube video. Peace out, Girl Scout. You're beautiful, so don't pout. It's still corny and it doesn't feel right, but I'm saying it anyway because it kind of starting to flow. So, peace out, girlies. Bye.